Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're embarking on an epic journey through time to explore the incredible, resilient, and fascinating history of Vietnam. From ancient legends to a modern dynamic nation, this story is filled with heroes, struggles, and triumphs. So grab a seat and let's dive into the rich tapestry of Vietnamese history. Our story begins over 2,000 years ago with the legendary Van Lang and Olac kingdoms. These were the first organized states on this land, laying the very foundations of Vietnamese culture and identity. Picture lush river valleys, early rice cultivation, and the famous Dong Sun bronze drums, symbols of a sophisticated and vibrant civilization. But this early chapter came to a close as powerful empires to the north began to cast their shadow. This led to what's known in Vietnam as the first period of northern domination, a challenging era that lasted for over 1,000 years. During this time, Vietnam was under the rule of various Chinese feudal dynasties. But this period of domination wasn't a story of passive acceptance. Far from it, it was a time of immense cultural exchange, but also of fierce resistance and an unyielding desire for independence. The Vietnamese people absorbed many aspects of Chinese culture, like administrative systems and writing, but they never lost their own unique identity, their language, or their spirit, and that spirit erupted in numerous uprisings. These weren't just small skirmishes. They were powerful movements led by national heroes who are still revered today. Think of the legendary Trung sisters, Hai Ba Trung, two noblewomen who led a massive rebellion against foreign rule, briefly establishing their own court. Or consider Lai Nam Day, who established the Van Duyen Kingdom, another bold declaration of sovereignty. Then there was Mai Hak Day, the Black Emperor, who also fought to reclaim self-rule. These uprisings, though often suppressed, kept the flame of independence alive, passing it from one generation to the next. The 1,000-year struggle finally culminated in a pivotal moment in 938 AD, the Battle of Bac Dang River. This is one of the most famous battles in Vietnamese history. The brilliant General Ngo Quyen devised a clever strategy, planting iron-tipped stakes in the riverbed. As the enemy fleet advanced at high tide, he lured them into the trap. When the tide receded, the stakes impaled the ships, leading to a decisive Vietnamese victory. This wasn't just a military win. It was the moment that shattered a millennium of foreign domination and ushered in a new era of genuine independence and self-rule for Vietnam. With independence secured, Vietnam entered a long period of feudal prosperity and consolidation. Great dynasties rose, each leaving its mark on the nation. The Ngo Dinh and Tien La dynasties worked to centralize power and stabilize the newly independent state. They were followed by the Lai and Tran dynasties, often considered golden ages in Vietnamese history. During this time, the country flourished. They established a stable government, developed a legal code, built the Temple of Literature in Hanoi as the first university, and fostered a unique culture blending indigenous traditions with new influences. It was an era of remarkable progress, artistic achievement, and national pride. But this new era of independence would face its greatest test. In the 13th century, the mighty Mongol Empire, the largest contiguous empire in world history, swept across Asia and Europe. They set their sights on Vietnam, launching not one, not two, but three massive invasions. The world watched, expecting Vietnam to fall. But under the strategic genius of the Tran dynasty, particularly the legendary General Tran Hung Dao, the Vietnamese people mounted an incredible defense. Using guerrilla warfare, clever tactics, and sheer determination, they defeated the Mongol armies all 3 times. It was a David versus Goliath story that cemented Vietnam's reputation as a nation of unconquerable spirit. After these glorious victories, however, Vietnam entered a more turbulent phase marked by internal conflict. The country was plagued by civil wars and divisions as powerful families vied for control. The most significant of these was the Trinuan conflict, which split the country in two for nearly 200 years. The Trin lords ruled the north, and the Nguyen lords controlled the south, with a wall separating their territories. This long division weakened the nation and caused immense suffering, setting the stage for another dramatic chapter. Out of this chaos rose one of the most dynamic figures in Vietnamese history, Emperor Quang Trung, also known as Nguyen Hue. He and his 2 brothers led the Tay Son Rebellion, a peasant movement that swept across the divided country. In a series of brilliant military campaigns, Nguyen Hue defeated both the Nguyen lords in the south and the Trin lords in the north, finally reuniting Vietnam after centuries of division. But his work wasn't done. He also had to fight off foreign invaders, repelling a Siamese invasion in the south and in a lightning-fast Lunar New Year offensive, routing a massive Qing army from the north. His reign was short, but his legacy as a unifier and a national hero is immense. Just as Vietnam was finding its footing again, a new global power arrived. France. In the mid-19th century, France began its colonial conquest of Vietnam, and by the 1880s, the entire country, along with Cambodia and Laos, was incorporated into French Indochina. This began a new, painful period of colonial rule. The French exploited Vietnam's resources and people, but just like in previous eras, the Vietnamese spirit of resistance did not die. Nationalist movements simmered and grew, culminating in the long and arduous struggle for independence in the 20th century, a period defined by figures like Ho Chi Minh and decades of devastating war. After a long and difficult fight, the country was finally unified in 1975. The war was over, and the nation was whole again. In 1976, it was officially renamed the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. The post-war years were incredibly difficult, marked by poverty and isolation. But in the late 1980s, Vietnam initiated a series of economic reforms known as Doi Moi, opening up its economy to the world. Since then, the country has experienced a remarkable transformation. Today, Vietnam is a vibrant, modern nation, a member of the international community, and one of the fastest growing economies in the world. From ancient kingdoms to a thriving modern state, the history of Vietnam is a powerful testament to the resilience, courage, and enduring spirit of its people. And that's a wrap on our whirlwind tour of Vietnamese history. Of course, we've only scratched the surface, but I hope it gave you a glimpse into the incredible journey of this nation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history and culture. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.